Jones has been arrested for
I heard that.
Indecent assault, allegedly touching non-consensually. Up to the complaints have come from up to 9 individuals.
Okay, so we're, 3 sentences into this podcast? You're really going in raw, aren't you, Ali?
I mean, you
Defamation
gotta start
pod.
where it starts. So, like, I don't know how, like, what okay, so firstly, one of the questions is,
Yes.
it
Oops.
seems like these rumors had been floating.
I mean, look, he's pulling an Alan Jones right now.
Did you
Look,
yeah,
Alan,
had you
Yeah,
guys
you've been
heard
to the
about?
toaster, haven't you?
Had you guys heard about the unsubstantiated rumors at the time?
Yeah, well, they've been unsubstantiated in rumours for about a year, haven't they?
A year?
anyway, back to Alan Jones.
It's making me so uncomfortable that we're talking about Alan Jones while you're in a bathrobe.
It is a bit weird. That is a bit weird.
But anyway, all right. So, first
$500
question
I would have done
is
it.
do you know who Alan Jones is? Have you been touched by Alan Jones? You're going to add to the accusations.
Not that I know of. I'm not. I tell you what, I'm not surprised though. Didn't he get pulled up in London for doing
Hey,
something?
can I ask a question? This is not related to Alan Jones. So just to preface, I am not referring to Alan Jones. I'm just answering a general
Let's
question.
just call him A. Jones.
Why are all of these like old timey conservatives that are against gay LGBT culture closeted homosexuals? Can someone answer this question?
Don't know, but I do think...
Like, for example, if I am, let's say, like, if I'm like secretly Muslim inside, right? And someone was coming up to me and being like, Muslims are too much, we got to get rid of them all. I'm just going to be like, hey, let's calm down a little bit, guys. They're just regular people like us.
No, you're going to go the Chris Pine method.
So I'm like, why are you on one end, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, why are you against yourself? is my
Yeah,
question.
there is I don't know. It is like that. It's like
Well, I think it is like kind of like the witch trials. You have to point out how much of not a witch you are. That's the mental framework that they're going through.
what exactly?
I think that it's also, this is something that's quite interesting about ye old times. So, I don't know, I'm guessing 1000 AD to 1600 or something. The deal sort of was, this is why there are so many pedos in the Catholic Church to this day. It's usually the place where society had this sort of bargain with the people that weren't heterosexual of this community, that, look, if you practice whatever isn't heterosexual at the time, you will be hanged for it or whatever. Here's the deal. You go be a priest, which sort of it proves that you are celibate for the rest of your life. We kind of know, because even back then there would have been people with gaydars. We kind of know that you are gay. But you're a priest, so you're not touching anyone, so we're just going to turn a blind eye. And you're doing the job that nobody else wants to do.
Oh, that's
because,
right.
you know?
Jeez.
So that was kind of the bargain that was made.
Really?
That was the bargain that was made. And so I think that it has always been seen as a refuge for the sexual proclivities that you're trying to deny, that you move into that realm. And I think that that's pretty similar to what is that ethos that runs through old school conservatives when they are clearly raging homosexuals. I mean, Alan Jones can try and hide the gay voice, but it's there.
So he's never admitted it.
Huh?
He's never admitted. He's never said that he's gay.
Never
Dude,
once.
Alan
Even
Jones-
now, he won't.
Is he,
He'll go to the
is he
grave.
married?
No. And you know why?
Just say.
Classic in the closet point. I'm just so busy, I don't have time.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, if you're a heterosexual guy,
You make
will
time.
make time.
You make yeah.
In fact, you will struggle to find time for anything else.
Yeah. There you go.
What is the purpose of time?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
my
I think that's why.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's insane. But look, man, when it's one person, two people, you go like, damn, he was a leader of a movement. He made some enemies. When it's 9, you're like, okay, I'm gonna.
Can't all be lies.
Okay, so like,
He couldn't have done it to all of them.
That is But when it starts getting into the teens, when it starts getting the 30, 50 people,
Yeah.
it can't all just be an
No.
attention grab.
And
it
it's-
can't all just be vendettas getting scored.
And it's a lot. Is how many? Is it kids?
No, it's like
no,
one.
they keep
No,
saying
for record.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, we don't know the identities, and neither should we speculate on the identities. But they're saying one of the 9 was 17 at the time of the alleged offense.
Right.
So is it 9?
I really chose the wrong
9
pod to
people
wear
in
it.
total.
You really chose the wrong pod. Yes, disgraceful. What has happened to the moral fabric of our society? Now, do I have to wear undies or not? It is a perfect metaphor for Alan Jones's career.
I did.
Man in a bathrobe sitting on a radio show,
Yeah.
constantly
Disgraceful.
moralizing.
I heard
James,
it
you should be
sa-
disgraced. You should. Oh God. My
It's gone up.
my robe's coming down.
I heard a testimony from one, like not from the horse's mouth, but a journalist recounting of their conversation. This person was allegedly working for Alan Jones, possibly as their driver or someone in that capacity. And while they were dropping them home, Alan Jones, to their Circular Quay apartment, again, allegedly there was groping in the lifts. And when they were asked, why didn't you report this? Because this is from like mid 2000s or early 2000s, this offense. And they were like, Alan Jones was literally more powerful than the prime minister.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this guy, like, who's
Right.
gonna believe me? And I just felt it was better if I just let it go. And another testimony from someone, again, no identities, nothing. I don't even know if it's the same person who said this or a different person, said that all they want to get out of this is for Alan Jones not to have a state funeral. Before he dies, I want people to know
Damn.
what he was like.
Shit. Yeah.
Man, that guy should have stayed in the UK.
Well. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why he came back.
Alan
I
Jones.
just chuck a Christopher Skase.
Didn't he get done there too with some charge?
Yes. See, this is the thing that I think is as corroborating as you can get without it being evidence.
Yeah.
My dad remembers this vividly. In the 80s, it came across the news. Triple M, Channel 9, they're all reporting it. Alan Jones caught in a bathroom in the UK using a glory hole
Jesus.
with some male prostitute.
Right.
Got arrested for it for indecent exposure or whatever it was.
Misdemeanor.
Something, having sex in public.
Yeah.
Something like that. Halfway through the day, completely off. Nothing. Not a word of it. Disappeared into the night.
Right.
He really was powerful.
Damn.
I wouldn't be able to pull that shit if that was me.
How the
Oh,
hell?
dude,
Still
absolutely
be talking
not.
about it.
Even in the UK, is powerful.
Dude, he was.
No, I'm
more-
sure it was reported in the UK,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the thing is, in the UK,
Oh,
who
right.
is he?
But that's what I'm saying. But this happened in the UK.
Yeah.
Dude, but the idea. Okay, think about it from their perspective. An Australian tourist found using a glory hole.
That is
Most
allegedly famous
unremarkable
there.
Yeah. story
yeah,
ever.
Right. But you're saying
in Australia, it's not an Australian man. It is the
Alan
most powerful
Jones.
man who
uh,
calls all elections.
yeah.
Like that's
There is
That's
a
difficult. Which is why everyone's still afraid of him. Chris Mintz came out and he was afraid. He was like, I know everyone wants me to have a comment, but it would be very inappropriate for me to have a comment
Yeah.
at this moment. This
I
matters.
don't
at
even
the
know
courts."
that is him being scared of him. I think that is what a premier should say about anything that is alleged, ever. Doesn't
Right.
matter how real your so-called evidence is against this clearly innocent man. Doesn't matter. You should, if you are premier, if you are any public official, your line should always be, let the courts decide.
Okay, well,
we never comment on that
we
stuff.
should give the other side of the story. So some people like Peter Credlin has said that this is.
a smear campaign.
Well, Peter Credlin weighed in.
Let me just say what she said.
This is a
before-
smear campaign.
because we
against
should give both sides, because obviously these are all, there is presumption of innocence. None of this has been proved as yet. Peter Credlin says that she's known Alan Jones for the better part of the last 3 decades. she's worked with him. She's always felt safe. And she said she doesn't know what happened here, but she would like to say it's very out of character for Alan Jones. And she lastly said that the way the police handled this, for example, arresting him at his house, was not correct. They should have asked him to come and surrender just at the police station, and also media shouldn't have been notified. Blah, blah, blah. That's what
Oh,
she
I'm
said.
sure that she'd be showing the same leniency if she wasn't on the same programs as
exactly.
that. Oh, this was done incorrectly.
Yeah.
This is
Ray
from the
Hadley-
tough on crime.
Justice.
Ray Hadley at his take too.
Oh.
Ray Hadley said,
Throw
it's
the
been
book at him.
public knowledge that I've had a public falling out with Alan Jones. I haven't spoken to him since 2019 or something. I would like to make it known that one of the victims, came up to me around 2019. They told me about this, so I was aware of the rumors and stories. And he said that it's not. I'm not going to comment on it because it's in court, and by the time the court judgment will come out,
He's retired.
I'm retired, and so I'm very happy not talking about this ever in my life.
There is this weird, like, it's the same thing with Trump's ex-lawyer, Roy Cohen. There's this weird contingency of, like, ultra, like, very conservative, kind of old man establishment type that is, like, like, they're gay, but they just never admit it. And they just sort of, like, and they hate, like, Roy Cohen was, like, he died of AIDS. And when he died, it was like, it's liver failure, and it was never admitted. Like, no one ever, it was never, even though there was proof,
Everyone knew.
there was medical, and he also, like, would go to, he'd go to court and be like, that man is a communist homosexual. He got, like, a lot of people banned from, kicked out of the army for being gay. It's like, it's illegal to be homosexual in the United States military, and he got them, like, dishonorably discharged. And he represented McCarthy in the McCarthy trials.
Yeah, and then
he
they
was
had the new policy of don't ask, don't tell. Like, just don't say you're gay.
yeah, but
like,
what is that? It's such a strange kind of person.
dude? Like, homosexuality was illegal
Not that long
in the
ago.
90s in Tasmania.
Yeah.
Like, it's.
Well, it's Tassie. Yeah. That's
I know,
crazy.
but, like, you know,
Yeah,
it's
I know.
like with
Yeah.
the
And it
pendulum-
still should be.
But, like, yeah, I get that, but I don't think they did it out of fear. Alan Jones didn't do it out of fear of a reprisal. Same as Roy Cohen. I don't think it was fear. It wasn't like fear of backlash. I think it was, I don't know, some.
This
No,
goes
he's from
into
a different age.
But why? I get it, but, like, is it like, I don't think it was for his career. I think there's
Dude,
some
I was-
self-hating element.
This-
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's deeply entrenched.
So it's like an old Catholic thing of just like
These
yeah.
powerful
yeah.
men were absolute assholes. I was listening to a podcast. I was telling this to Jordan as soon as I walked in. I'm listening to a podcast on Lyndon B. Johnson, the American president. Dude, his stories are insane.
Yeah.
Okay, at one point, everyone's against the Vietnam War. This is just one example. There's many.
Yeah.
Everyone's against the Vietnam War. He's in front of a group of journalists, not his friends, and he's the president of the United States. He's in front of a group of journalists. One of the journalists says, Mr. President, why are we still fighting this war? The U.S. is hemorrhaging soldiers at this point. Why are we still fighting this war? Why don't we just come back, bring the troops back home? He takes out his penis. In front of the president of the U.S., he takes out his penis, he cups his cock, and he says,
He was wearing one of these.
He looks at her and he goes, because of this. This was an unremarkable story because the man did this all the time.
that was his answer to
He
a lot
was-
of the questions. That was his dodge.
What president was this? Because
Lyndon B.
B.
Johnson.
Johnson.
The B standard for big.
and the Johnson stood
Standard
for
for
Johnson.
Johnson.
Damn, of course it was this guy.
Yeah, you like that? Huh?
What the hell?
Let's get busy.
And he's from Texas, the big
So
state.
men from an earlier generation
Holy shit! Yeah,
were used to a life that if you became rich and successful
yeah.
and powerful,
You can do what you wanted.
like you just
Yeah.
grab onto pussy and
Yeah,
they don't
yeah.
they don't like
better
that's
pushy.
the
Yeah,
frame
yeah.
of mind. Like watch Mad Men and stuff. It's insane.
So is he? Madman was a good.
Dude, this is the other
example
thing.
of
Like when we talk about like this whole Me Too movement,
Yeah.
feminazi, it's gone too much. There was a time when it was like required. Like
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
insane that you could just do that as the president. I know Miss Love's doing it right now.
that.